Good day, everyone. Welcome once again to the Unfiltered Hour, where we talk matters just as they are. My name is Favor, and I have here with me a very special person. I'll allow him to introduce himself.
Am I really that special? Okay, my name is Ekane Shama Obina, and once again I welcome you to the Unfiltered Hour. They will see things just as they are.
Okay, before we begin, I would like us to specially celebrate Nigeria on their Independence Day. This is the
63,
63rd independence that Nigeria is celebrating, and it has not been easy. So we celebrate, we congratulate, and we wish every Nigerian, both in the country and in diaspora, a happy Independence Day from us here at the Unfiltered Hour. Okay, we'll be looking at some matters today, and since this is Independence Day, we'll be looking at Nigeria's independence and how far we have come.
Okay.
So we'll be talking about what we have achieved so far. First of all, but before we get to that, what can you say about Nigeria's independence? This is a yearly something that we celebrate every first day of October, right? October 1st. That was when Nigeria got its
1960.
independence. Yeah,
Wow.
October 1st, 1960. That was when Nigeria got its independence from the British colonial rule. And since then, we have existed as a sovereign state. So what do you have to say for over the years that Nigeria has been has been free from colonialism?
I want to say congratulations to Nigeria and congratulations to everyone that fought tooth and nail to make sure that we actually free from the colonial rule, the colonial masters, and the rest of them. But I say Nigeria is a great nation with diverse ethnic group, diverse set of people, and we cohabit together. And say congratulations once more. It's not easy to actually be at this point in our life whereby we grow from strength to strength. And
so that's good. So while talking, you mentioned some facts. I think we should give people that are not Nigerian some key facts about Nigeria. Like, for instance, did you know that Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups? Wow. Do you know that the three major languages spoken in Nigeria are the Igbo,
Yoruba,
and the Hausa? And then, did you know that English language is the official language, or the lingua franca, that Nigeria uses? So those are some key facts about Nigeria. Nigeria is popularly known as the giant of Africa, and it didn't get that name just by chance, right? So over the years, we have been called as the giants of Africa. So once you look so far, what have we achieved in these 63 years of independence? Let's look into some of the key things we've achieved. At least which one of them is that we have been able to maintain democracy for at least
from 1999 to national about 24 years.
Yeah, about 24 years. And then there are some other things that Nigeria has been able to achieve. So let's look into some of those things.
Okay. Nigeria was freed in about 1960. 1960 was when we had our independence. When we became an official republic was in 1963. Okay, difference between 1960 and 1963 is just like you having a goat, buying a goat, and you still have the rope to your hands. That was what we said we achieved in 1960. And then 1963, they actually left the rope they actually left the goats
to
be self-determinant, like to go about, do anything he wants to do. They don't control him any longer. So Nigeria has achieved, we've achieved a lot to compare other nations. We've achieved a lot, from our security architecture to our economy to our housing and the rest of them. Nigeria, as I keep telling people that Nigeria, it's not that bad. Although we have a lot of things to work on, from the leadership to corruption to so many things. We have a lot of things to work on. But when we take a milestone, we take a step, we should also identify that yes, we've taken a step.
Yeah.
Nigeria is one of the countries in Africa that practically practice visible democracy in a way whereby a president has a maximum amount he can remain in office.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So once you know you are done with 8 years, you are gone. One of the former presidents that wanted to try it saw how he was being treated. Nigeria is a kind of country whereby yes, we say we have many of times we get some leaders not obeying the rule of law, not obeying court orders, but there are some certain court orders that will prevail and you cannot do anything about it.
Yeah.
That example, now when the Supreme Court sacks a governor, sacks a president, you can, no matter how tough they say you are, but I feel you cannot do anything about it at that point.
Yeah.
So
like some other African
that the Supreme Court is at the baggage of.
There was a country that I was looking at. I cannot remember which in particular, but I found out that the man has been ruling. Like his father was president after ruling. So
it's Gabon.
And his son he has ruled for over getting close to, because in their country I guess it's 7 years back. So the guy is almost getting close to 21 years.
It's Gabon.
So you see that kind of scenario.
Ali Bongo I can't remember his father's name, but I know that the current president it's Ali Bongo. His father handed over. Okay, let us leave Gabon. Africa at large, our problem is Cameroon. Our problem is we are too selfish. Yes, we are going to have good things in mind for our people. If me and you now, if someone tells me that I'm going to be the governor or the president of this country, I'll be like, yes, I have so many things in mind to achieve. I want to hit milestones. I want to create histories. But at some point, let's be true to ourselves. Once you get that power, you see that so many people are under you. You do like this, a sign of finger, like this can kill many people. Subsidy is gone. Can take away subsidy. So many things. So you see that the enormous power we have
can
intoxicate us, get into our heads, and we say, we are not going to live here. And by you saying you're not going to live here, you have to make sure you get to bribe officials that are actually in power, and that's where corruption starts. And spending that money, you want to recoup them back, and you see you will have a lot of money in the country, but it's not seen. The citizens are not seeing what the money is for. Let's take a look at Gabon. Gabon has a population of over not more than 3 million people. I think it's about 2-something million persons, and Gabon is enormously rich with oil, gold, and so many things. But see them languishing in poverty. They look at their ex-president, which I don't support. This we don't support military coup.
Yeah,
we don't support military coup, but look at their ex-president that was kicked out of office by the military.
Ali Bongo.
So many houses in France, so many mansions. See his son.
I learned his son. They discovered a lot of.
He's been tried. He's been tried now. He's been tried. So we get Africa. Nobody is coming to make Africa great than us. So sometimes the celebration of independence in Nigeria, I see it as a celebration of Nigeria. The celebration of independence in Nigeria, I see it as a celebration of independence in Africa, because once Nigeria can get everything right, Africa has no other choice than to follow it with. Yeah. So you see, whenever there is a coup, they look up to Nigeria to avert, to check if we can do anything. That's
where the giant of Africa started.
And it did not start from Asiwaju time. It started from Olusegun Obasanjo till President Goodluck Jonathan, and now Asiwaju is trying to do it in a day, which I necessarily do not even advise him to.
Okay. Let's now that you've gone to that, I think we should look at the matter of the coup. It's not as if that is a commonplace in recent times in Africa. More than 4 African countries have experienced successful coups where the military took over government from the civilian rulers. I think the last one that happened was in Niger, if I'm not Niger,
No, no,
right?
no, no. The last one was in Gabon, not Niger.
Gabon, okay. But we have countries like Burkina Faso, we have countries like Niger Republic, we have countries like Gabon,
Gabon.
then and so many other African countries that have experienced in current time military takeover. Now, what do you think about the military takeover? Because yeah, a lot of people have argued that yes, the military needed to come in because of the gross corruption that was exhibited by the elected officials. So, like in the case of Gabon that we just talked about, so they needed a kind of a break. The people needed a kind of break, and the military provided that. But what do you think about military coups? And I think that's also a kudos to Nigeria celebrating our Independence Day. I think this is 24 years, right? Of unbroken civilian rule. Yeah. So that's also a big achievement for us. So what do you think about military coups? Because Nigeria in the time past he had his own good share or fair share of military coups from the Aguirre, Gowon, and so many other Obasanjo. Yeah, a lot of military coups in the past. Yeah. I don't know if those history are still, if history even still taught in school.
I studied history.
Okay.
I studied history.
Okay. I mean, in our lower level of education,
That's
like
what I don't
school,
know. The primary and the secondary school.
Because I remember then there was a little bit of history when we were going to school, but I don't know if the average Nigerian knows. And I think part of what independence should also mean for Nigeria is to look back at the past, because there's a saying that when we don't know the past and we don't learn from the mistake of the past, we are condemned to repeat the same mistake that we made. So let's look at a bit let's look a bit into military coups and what is our take? What causes these military coups? And are military coups good? What does it feel to be like under a military government? So let's have a take on that.
To me, I condemn drastically the military taking over power. I condemn in any governmental institution whereby there is no rule of law, and that is practically seen with the junta government, with the military junta. So I condemn it in total. But the main cause, it's okay. Before we talk about the main cause, you don't actually look at the problem at some point in any situation. You look at what's causing the problem.
Yeah.
And the main issue are the African leaders. The African leaders are too corrupt.
Yeah.
For our liking. Africa is one of the. It's a very beautiful place, a great continent full of black race is full of beautiful people. We have it all. We have the oil, we have the uranium, we have the diamond, we have the gold, we have everything.
And we also have the manpower.
What we beg our leaders is help us manage these resources for our own good. When we go abroad, when we go to the West, what does the West have? What I feel they only have is human capital development.
Yeah.
Technology, but when it comes to business, even the technology, the natural resources which you used to build the technology still comes from Africa. Africa has a greater role to play, but our leaders end up selling us off
due to corruption.
Due to Africa, I keep saying Africa is one of the higher. When we talk about Nigeria, sometimes I feel when Nigerian citizens get to criticize the country, get to criticize the president. Yes, if you are not doing well, you're what's being criticized. But you look at a country like Uganda. A man has stayed for 36 years. Non-stop. Wait.
Is that not funny?
Non-stop governance. 36 years.
By hook and crook.
They do election every 5 years, he comes up. Do election every 5 years, he comes up.
It's not a dynasty.
Let's go to the popular place. What's this area? Rwanda. Yes, the guy is doing well. Paul Kagame is doing very well. He's the new face of Rwanda, but that's always how they start. They start like by saying, yes, we are the ones that's making it good, and therefore we don't deserve to leave power. Every year comes, every term expires, you see them coming out to contest. Then Rwanda will be having an election next year. Yes, he has already indicated instead of contesting. So you've stayed there for over 25 or 26 years. You see yourself fit to always come out to contest. There's no other person that has any idea like you. We have left. You see this Niger, Bazoma.
Yeah.
Bazoma. Bazoum. I call him Bazoma. He has stayed there for over 30 years. We go to Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire only. His own is every year. If he gets to endorse you to come to rule, the person that he endorses dies after 3 weeks or so, and then he comes back to say, that he doesn't trust any other person, that he wants to come to power. You understand? Just say, I'm the president now. I get to endorse you. Oh, okay, favor. Take over me. What? It will not take up to 1 month. You die. You'll not be like, that the party needs to produce another leader. You say, no, let me come over. Why will he? In search of.
And then
he wins the election as usual. This is the third time that's been happening in Côte d'Ivoire. We come to Cameroon.
An old man. I was watching the video the other day. The man could almost not walk.
He doesn't even live in Cameroon. The leader of he doesn't live in Cameroon. He lives in France. They call him to Cameroon when they actually have national duties like the independence and the rest of them, and he comes to France. What other African countries? So many African countries. We have the Gambia. That's another place. Whereby if you see them that time when they want to, when they are fighting for power, if you see them when they are fighting for power, you feel that these people will come and establishing. They will come to fight for their own personal interest and then stay there for long. It's not even happening in Nigeria, even if assuming we don't have a constitutional time.
So these are the things that have led to the corrupt regime.
So when you see this kind of things, you are there's a bound that things will not go well. And once things are not going well, the citizens will protest. How many people can you kill? How many people can your military stop?
Yeah.
So the African continent, we are the hope of the world. Whether we like it or not, we are the hope of the world. From the characteristics, the natural resources, the energy. If the West are actually looking for manpower, you see that they open their borders and employ Africans to come. So we are the hope of the world. We are the hope of the world. So we're Africans, for this coup, the adults to stop, we need to have a change of mind. We need to have a well-framed mind. We need to remove ourselves from corruption. We need to have a constitutional time frame for people in power.
Yeah. Okay, that's a lot. I hope you're learning a lot. With that being said, there are a lot of things wrong with African countries, but it doesn't mean that Nigeria is all perfect. We also have our own unique challenges. So, which one of them is also this corruption that we're talking about? Although, Nigeria might not be as corrupt as some of the other African countries. Okay, but that does not mean that Nigeria does not also have its own unique problems, of which the chiefest of them is corruption.
Tribalism.
bad leadership, tribalism, and a lot
favoritism,
of
nepotism,
problem.
all the zing na
But
we get am.
yes, but you cannot also compare it to some African
No,
countries
we are far ahead of
where
them. We are
a
far.
leader, a constitutionally elected leader,
Some of
would
them,
stay.
some of them
Yeah,
countries see Nigeria as abroad.
yeah,
Let's see Nigeria as abroad.
yeah,
They,
yeah.
they pay millions of their currency to get
Yeah.
Nigerian visa. To get this visa hard though.
So wait. So where a leader, a certain leader, will be in power for over 20 years, and not because the people want him to be there, but because he has found a way to institutionalize himself in power in such a way that even if he contests an election, he will keep on winning and winning and winning. Like Ali Bongo, where he's almost becoming a dynasty. His father ruled and then he took over and even won the election before the military now
It was after 2 days.
So, but even at that, military coups are not good because number one, they are not constitutional. Number two, they take the country a step backward because when the military comes into power, they dissolve the constitution, the ground norm of the country, and they start afresh with giving decrees, which now become the basis of which the country will now run. And that spoils a whole lot of things.
Takes them
And,
backward, and
yeah,
before they will get themselves, it's close to
yeah.
over.
And even looking at past precedents, the military takeovers that had happened in the past did not favor the country anyway. In fact, it took the country backward. The best of the ones you even say tried put the country at a standstill for many years. So
Get our money.
yeah,
You can't
yeah.
talk.
And
When
yeah, there's no checks and
you
balances.
cannot criticize them.
Yeah, you cannot criticize them. There's no checks and balances. So I still believe democracy remains the best form of government because it gives the power back to the people. And if you remember the definition of democracy by the great Abraham Lincoln, that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So with democracy, the people are in power, right? But Nigeria, like other African countries, have had its own fair share of a lot of problems with democracy because our own democracy is not perfect, right? There's a lot of corruption that has crept in, and that is the problem that Nigeria is facing today. The problem of corrupt leaders, problem of corrupt officials, problem of corrupt citizens, because it begins at the citizen level. You know, most people are so quick to criticize our leaders, but remember, before they became leaders, before they became officials in the government, they were first what? Citizens. So it starts from a corrupt citizen, it starts from a corrupt system, and before you know it, those same citizens are now appointed into offices.
The systems.
Yeah, they are now appointed into offices. So they go from corrupt citizens to corrupt officials, and before you know, they go higher in the ladder of power, and before you know, they are now corrupt leaders. So Nigeria has its own fair share of corruption, of tribalism. You know, Nigeria is such, and I think we should look into that also as we are celebrating our 63 years of independence, because Nigeria is a very diverse country, owing to the fact that it has over 250 ethnic groups. Like, can you believe that? 250 ethnic groups, and more than that number in languages. So we are very diverse, right? Our cultures are different, our ideologies are different, but we are held together by a national goal, right? A national unity, a common vision that binds us all. But with that, we have seen lately a serious tribalism, where people from this tribe are feeling that they're probably superior to people from this side, or these people from this tribe are feeling that they are not adequately represented in power, or that they are being treated as a minority group, or these people feel, I don't know if you get. So there's a lot of suspicion, there's a lot of backhand game as it comes to tribe. So when an employment is given, the person considered, instead of it to be considered based on merit, it is considered based on what? Tribe. Okay, this guy is from my tribe, especially even some people are even saying even government
It's everywhere.
appointed, so they will appoint based on tribe rather than based on competence and based on merit, forgetting that the country is diverse. And when you do things like that, you only aggravate the other people. So
Okay.
let's look at tribalism and its effects
So
over the years and solutions to curb such
it's probably a
things.
shame that at this level of development, this level of visibility, this level of knowledge that we Nigerians are entitled to, from the social media to the
Yeah,
internet and everything, we still have this tribalism, nepotism, favoritism, and the
yeah,
rest of them in our minds and in our hearts. It's not so. It's something that should not be heard. Nigeria is a great nation, and we are far way past this level of
63 years.
far way past this level of
independence.
tribalism and the rest of them. In fact, everything called zim, we are far way past. So I just want to appeal to the people that are still on this, are still saying the Igbos cannot be president, the Yorubas cannot be ministers, or the Yorubas cannot do this, or the Hausas, we cannot marry an Hausa, we cannot marry a Yoruba, we cannot
But when one Nigeria,
we cannot marry a thief,
so
we cannot marry from Edo, we cannot so way past that level. We've so way past that. So I just want to appeal to you, please desist, change,
yeah,
have a change of mentality. If today something happens to you and you go to the hospital to seek treatment, to seek the care of a doctor, do you ask the doctor where he's from?
exactly.
Do you ask the doctor,
Are you
are you Igbo, are you Hausa, are you Yoruba? No. If you go to a bank to be attended to, do you ask the banker, where are you from, to attend to me? If you go to board a plane, do you ask the flight attendant, please, the pilot that's going to be taking us, that's going to be boarding the plane, where is he from? I know they like make Yoruba people drive plane while they while they enter. No. But when it comes to little issues, we consider this from Igbo, this from Hausa, this from Yoruba. No, we are far away this level. We are far away. Everybody should be treated the same way. The same way you are treating a Yoruba, you are saying no, this one na Omo Igbo, this one na this one na that, or Igbo go say this one na wetin, no fair manu, or Hausa go say no, these people will not like this kind of people.
We're one people.
If you go,
one nation.
If you go outside the country and you are being treated like that,
you know the funny thing, when you go outside the country, they ask you where you're from. And they ask you where you're from. You say, "Oh, where are you from?" You just say, "I'm from Nigeria." "Who are you?" "I'm a Nigerian." That's what you say, right? So we are known as Nigerians. So why will you now want to begin to bring in tribalism to spoil? We are one people, right? One heritage, one great nation.
No, you would have said no this morning that we have this current. This one is for Igbo. This one is for Yoruba. No, we far way past this level. And once they go outside and they get treated like that, the next thing we hear that these people, this outside,
this South Africa, xenophobia,
them the racist. Yeah. So yes, I condemn racism. I condemn every act of violence, but we should first know that Nigerians are first. Anybody that has a Nigerian blood, a Nigerian spirit, should be treated equally. The same way you treat a man in Nnewi should be the same way you treat a man in Yola. The same way you treat a man in Gombe should be the same way you treat a man in Lagos. The same way you treat a man in Maitama or Sokoro. The same way you treat a man in Control Owerri. Yeah. The same way you treat a man in Benin, Edo, Delta, Port Harcourt. The same way you take them out in Ekiti, Sokoto, Taraba.
Yeah, that's
Now, Nigeria, we are one, and we should have the mentality of Nigerian first before any other thing. Nigerians first. So if there's an appointment, what we should be looking at is not tribe, it's competency.
yeah.
Build your competence. So do you expect me to build my tribe? I'm from Imo State, Nigeria, and I'm an Imolite. So I can't change it, but I can build my competence. So why will you judge me based on my tribe? The same way you judge somebody that's from Fulani or from Hausa. You don't judge, you judge the person based on his competence. So if you're being judged for being not competent enough, what you need to do is to go back and build your competence.
Yes.
But if you judge him on tribe, you make sure you get him depressed because he cannot do anything about his tribe again. So Nigerians, please desist from being tribalistic. Desist from being favoritist. Desist from choosing somebody based on his tribe or based on his color or based on his religion. Nigerians are one.
Mr. Shama has said it all. This is something, I think this should be a message for today, being as Nigeria, in the light of Nigeria celebrating its Independence Day. That's a quote from Martin Luther Jr., right? He said he looks forward to a day where he will not be judged by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. So don't make your decisions based on what this person is not from my tribe, this person is from my tribe, and then that influences your judgment. No, it should be made on competence, on merit, right? So that, because in some years past we have had people that were incompetent, and I think that's even part of the challenge of the leadership, right? That we've had leadership failures in the past.
It's the turn of this. It's the turn of
You
that.
now say that this person should be in power because he's from this tribe, or because he's from my brother, or because maybe you feel that it's
our
your
person.
turn, or it's our person. No, it should be based on merit. It should be based on competence. It should be based on the person's capacity to deliver. So the person should have the 3 C's that mark a leader. He should have competence, he should have character, and he should also have capacity, right? And I think I should add a 4th one to the C's, and that should be a commitment to do the right thing. So Nigerians,
commitment before even capacity.
Yeah. So Nigerians, please and please, away with nepotism, away with tribalism, away with favoritism. It has not done us any good
and it will not do us
in the past 63 years of our independence. So we'll be moving on to another matter, and that is to see or discuss what we need to do, or what Nigeria needs to do to ensure that the country is working. What do you think are some measures that we need to put in place to see that the country is working?
The rise and fall of a nation is subject to leadership.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Nigerians, Nigeria as a country, I appeal to the leadership of this country. Treat Nigerians with dignity. Treat Nigerians with respect. Nigerians are strong people, talented people, energetic, wow, beautiful personalities. Treat us with respect. Use our money for our good. 10 billion should not enter the state account or federation account, and you see them budgeting 500,000 for Nigerians, and then taking the rest. Use our money for our good. Take care of us. Give us the basic amenities, the basic things we need in life. You can eat everything.
Basic.
Just give us light, electricity. Give us good road. Give us security. Protect our lives and properties. Treat treat us with respect, treat us that we matter so much. Our leaders. That's what you owe Nigerians. Nigerians are actually one of the strongest people I know. That you take a decision today and
Yeah, you think they will die, but they try.
they just talk and talk and talk and talk, and everything ends, and life falls back to normal. What subsidy came, made all the noise, made all the noise. We are adjusted to fuel subsidy, though we know the relevance of fuel subsidy.
Yeah.
But we are strong people, so don't take us for granted.
Yeah.
Don't take us for granted. Don't take us for granted. So our leaders prioritize the needs of Nigerians. Prioritize the needs of Nigerians. That is the main thing that will end more of this tribalism and the rest of them. That's one of the main things, because we will have jobs. We'll have jobs. We'll have so many things. Even many Nigerians I know don't even want to work anymore for people. They just want to give us a conducive environment for our businesses to thrive.
Yeah.
Our businesses to thrive, whereby we can employ youth. But employment alone cannot be done by the government, cannot be done by any aspect of government, either the state government, local government, or even the federal government. You need the private sector. And how do you create the private sector? You make sure that every aspect of Nigeria, every Nigerian has a good and conducive environment for trade to be done. So you don't give us light. How do you expect us to manufacture goods? You see that we spend more money buying fuel at 600 naira. But so if you're doing anything, if you're actually putting things, if you're actually making sure that the country is getting better by the fuel subsidy, to make plans for the well-being of Nigerians, make plans for Nigerians, make sure that Nigerians are actually in a good condition so that everything will be okay.
As I said, Nigeria also has its own problems. So we'll just take a few, which in brief, as we round up, okay, I'll list them. Number one is the light, of which you know that Nigeria does not have electricity, which is a basic amenity, which is so is sad to know. And this, in this modern world, one of the things that you need to thrive is electricity. And which good country that is thinking of its future, that is thinking of its citizens, would not invest to ensure that these basic things are available? I've listened to past administration in their regard when talking about power, and they said, power this, power that, we did this, but up until today, we cannot see any measurable change in power. We supply light to
our
Niger, some African countries,
Ghana, Togo.
Yeah. So what is the problem? The leaders should address this basic stuff. The average Nigerian education in Nigeria is almost a ghost of itself. There was a time in Nigeria where if you went to school, you went to school.
If you went to a government school,
you are seen as an erudite. You are seen as somebody that's already set for life. But the current educational structure is almost a ghost of itself. It's almost a shadow of itself. So Nigeria needs to invest heavily on. And then another one is healthcare. And these are the basic things that makes a great nation. Healthcare in Nigeria is pitiable. Is in a pitiable state. If the average Nigeria doesn't trust that when they go to a hospital they will receive good medical care.
Do the leaders trust in our healthcare?
The bulk of our leaders is no longer news that when people hear somebody went to another country,
headache has taken them to China, has taken them to
as if that Nigeria doesn't have. And currently now, because of this, most of our professionals are not leaving the country, right? Most doctors, most nurses,
engineers,
they're going to other countries where things are more organized so that they can be able to benefit from their career, they can be able to make a living from their career. And this is tied to Nigeria not having a serious plan to invest heavily in this thing. And the ultimate person that suffers are the Nigerians, the masses
civil
in
servants,
Nigeria.
small
The average
business
Nigeria
owners.
suffer from lack of or access to health care.
Our government has a lot to do.
Yeah, so we
in
have
healthcare.
a lot to do. There are so many things that I feel Nigeria can do, and we can come out of our skeleton, because now I think we are a shadow of ourselves as Nigeria. The giant of Africa, the once giant of Africa, is now.
We are still the giant of Africa.
Yeah, we are
we are
in
still the
name,
giant of Africa.
but in reality, tourism in Nigeria is almost non-existent. I remember then when we were younger, we check Nigeria for tourist attraction sites. We see some things like the Yankari Game Reserve, the Obudukatu Ranch.
even the
I
Buka
was
Lake.
watching a documentary of recent, and somebody went to a famous YouTuber, Tayo Aina. So yeah, he visited the Obudukatu Ranch, and it was like a ghost town. Most of the infrastructures were not dilapidated. People no longer visit there. He has a lot of things, but now it is almost moribund.
Even our zoos.
Yeah, zoos. There's no what brings people into Nigeria. If you take countries like Zambia, Zimbabwe, they have a lot of
Barbados, Maldives.
They have a lot of tourist attraction site that brings a lot of tourists over the year, every year, and this also commits heavily to their economy. So what is Nigeria doing about that tourist attraction? And we have a lot of potentials. Nigeria has a lot of potentials that can be used, but the government chooses to do it, neglect this thing. So these are a lot of problems.
Wait for oil.
Yeah, and the last one I'll talk about is the cost of living in Nigeria.
Since the cost of living, one kid.
The
cost
of living, one kid they live like it's on the high side, and seeing that Nigeria is a third world country and the cost of living is even almost at par, or sometimes in some countries even higher than people living in first world countries, and we don't even get even a quarter of the benefits that they get there. It's very terrible. The average, the minimum income that the average Nigerian earns is can be classified as a peanut.
We just hope this incoming government
is going to
steps up his toes and get up to work.
Yeah.
Make Nigerians happy. Yes, we know it's not going to be easy. We know it's not going to come in a twinkle of an eye. He told us in his last address that we should exercise patience, that the change will come. But we hope. We've always been hearing this
from past
leaders. We hope that the change will come. Our minimum wage is as good as zero. That's why we can find corruption, because someone that's earning 33,000 naira, you don't expect him not to steal. My brother, you don't expect him not to steal. Because how many liters of fuel can that buy?
So with this, I think we're going to wrap up this. So we lend out our voice to encourage the people in power to do the best for Nigerians, to put in their best to ensure that the nation works, to ensure that the people of Nigeria are happy, to ensure that the people of Nigeria are prosperous. Yes. So they should put in their best to see that this is done, right? So we can reap the benefits of democracy, which is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next time.